What's up guys, this is Amato, and first and foremost I'd like to say sorry for not being able to post a video in a while. I've been kind of busy with school and whatnot. But here is one of the newest decks that I have built. It is Lancer Frogs. So to start off, we have 3 Swap Frogs. This is going to be the frog engine of the deck. It's just your basic setup. 3 Dupe Frog. I only run double Ronin Toad because I feel like 3 isn't really necessary unless you're running heavy tributes, but I don't really run as many tributes as many others would. And double Ronin Toad just is it's less cloggy. And you run double Poison Jaw Frog for the Sea Lancer engine, and 1 Treeborn Frog, because Treeborn Frog is nice, but it's not going to always be needed. Moving on to the tributes, we have Triple Sea Lancer, which is it's the main card of the deck. If you don't know what it does, once per turn you can equip any number of banished like level 2 or lower aqua monsters or something to it. Long story short, you banish stuff with Ronin Toad, and then you equip them to Sea Lancer, and then he goes up to 2300, and then it's hard for him to get destroyed because you can just detach one of the equipped monsters. And you get Dupe Frog's effect and Poison Draw Frog's effect off of them being equipped to Sea Lancer. So most of the time you want to equip Draw Frog so that you can get a draw every time they try to destroy him. We have Double Caius. He's the only Monarch that I run. I feel like Caius is the only one that's very useful, and besides Ryza, he's very consistent in what he can do. I mean, banishing 1 card in the field is always nice, and then not to mention he can always banish himself to get in a free 1000 damage to your opponent if needed. Double Lad. I ran 3 lads, and then I ran 1 lad, and I found that if you run 3, you're not going to be able to summon them all the time. If you run 1, you're never going to draw them. And if you run 2, it's the perfect amount because you'll get them when you need them, and you'll usually have them when you want to. That, and then you can use Lad's second effect to summon Lancer, or Caius, or maybe even a Gores or something if you need to keep bringing out big beaters. And I am teching in 1 Dark Dust Spirit currently. It's kind of like my Infinite Dark Hole unless they negate it, but I like it because it's Effect Veiler bait, Solemn Judgment bait, Solemn Warning bait. This is basically the card I use to bait out their back row and stuff, and if they don't use it, then they lose their monsters. Moving on to hand traps, we have... okay, let me just put all this away. This is going to be the basic engine of the deck. Hand traps, we've got 1 Maxi, double Veiler, double Fader, and then 1 Gores. Now, Gores, you don't really run any traps in here. The double Battle Fader is good because it's tribute fodder when it's special summoned. Double Veiler because it's Veiler, and then 1 Maxi because he got reprinted. And to finish off the monsters, you've got 1 Sangan because it searches out your entire frog engine, all of your hand traps except for Gores, and Sangan is just a good card in the deck. For spells, we have Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Book of Moon, and then double MST, with a Pot of Avarice that I feel is pretty much staple in the deck. With this deck you go through your exceeds so fast, and most of the time you're going to want to get them back. That, or you can recycle your tributes. You can get back 1 part of the frog engine, and you might need to continue sending stuff to the grave with Swap Frog and stuff. And for frog support, I run double Creature Swap and double Enemy Controller. Creature Swap is amazing in any deck that has a large amount of floaters, which is why I run 2 in this deck, because basically every frog is a floater. And Enemy Controller is awesome. It works kind of as a Creature Swap, except they can combo better with Treeborn Frog. Now, that is it for the spells. Moving on to traps. A lot of frog decks don't really run any traps. I'd probably agree with them if I knew how to build the deck better, but this is my version of it. So I'm running 2 Torrential and 1 Compulse. The two torrential tributes I'm running because I feel like early game, you're going to have nothing but frogs on the field. You're either going to have a Gachi, you're going to have a dupe frog set down, you're going to be summoning swap frog to get in a quick 1000 damage, or you're going to have a poison draw frog, maybe, if you really need that draw, possibly even a Sangan. So you don't really minus a lot if you torrential tribute yourself, because it'll destroy your opponent's monster, which they would have destroyed yours anyways, but then destroying yours doesn't really hurt you in any way. And then currently I am taking Compulse to get back, you know, tributes and stuff, or, you know, to send back one of their monsters that might be attacking me. For the extra deck in this deck is very, very flexible. Pretty much all you gotta do is run triple Gachi Gachi, and then one number 96 Dark Mist. Triple Gachi Gachi is absolutely necessary. On most games, I'll go into 5 Gachi Gachis because I'll find myself using Pot of Avarice to get them back. And Dark Mist, you might want to run another one, but 1 is nice, 2 is would probably be better. But Dark Mist is really good to get over a bunch of high attack monsters. Run a couple of level 6 and 5s and stuff, just in case you ever get 2 Lancers or 2 Kaises on the field and stuff like that. Another version of the deck you could do is run Illusionary Snatcher, which is a, I can't remember the specifics, but it's a 2400 attack dark, and then when you tribute summon a monster, you special it, and then it copies the level and the attribute of the monster you tributed for. So it's mainly for exceeding, but I don't like it because it doesn't really help the whole frog engine. So that was my frog deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and give me any comments on what you think about it, because this is my first frog deck I've ever built, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll see you guys later.